welcome to Next Up Sports Talk. Here with Bo and Alec today. So
Yep.
I mean, like always, but
Like always,
Yeah,
no
just-
one's going.
we had to change it up a little bit. I had to, start it off tonight. So
That was a. You
Good
need
job.
more of an emphasis.
need more of an emphasis. Yep.
This is episode 6.
Okay.
So episode 6 here on Let's Get Heated. Every Sunday, we're basically coming live at you guys. I feel like I say this every week. Do you know what I'm gonna say?
No,
Another fun-packed week of different topics to go over.
I just feel like this time of year, there's just so many things packed into a small window. I mean, we
Yeah.
got the draft that just happened. NBA playoffs are going on. Baseball season's in full swing.
Very
Yeah.
nice stuff.
Yeah, exciting. Also, I'm really sore right now. We just got done with some softball practice. It's softball time of the year for everyone as well. You know, your adult softball leagues. Warmer weather's coming. If you're in Wisconsin, it's still freezing. It was cold today.
That was fine.
It was pretty windy. Anyways, welcome to episode 6. We're going to get into the topics here. Of course, since we're in Wisconsin, we got one specifically to the Packers again.
Yeah.
Correct.
It'll be a fun one.
All right. 2019 NFL Draft. It's done.
Very surprising.
Very surprising draft. Not the way that we had it on our mock draft, but a lot of people guessed it right. The people that did the mock drafts,
I think we all knew that Kyler Murray was going number 1. We just sort of wanted to change it up.
Well, we were going logically on
It didn't
he
make
wasn't the
sense,
best. He
right?
wasn't the best player. I mean, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know yet, but Bosa's the number 1 player coming out of college, or he was the number 1 player coming out of college. I thought, logically, he had to go number 1. But
And why take another quarterback after just taking Rosen, who they took the previous draft in the first round?
yeah,
You know,
so
now he's traded to the Dolphins, so
Yeah.
they're on.
they had a bigger
Quickly.
picture. So
So essentially, we're just going to, do some highlights of
Yeah.
the NFL draft. And you said that the first one was Murray going number 1. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
sends Rosen down to Florida. He's going to play with the Dolphins now. So that's going to be interesting.
Fitzmagic is still going to be number 1 down there.
So he's going to watch. He's going to watch him.
Oh yeah,
So-
Fitzmagic is
Rosen's-
I think there'll be a battle. for
Competition.
the starting job.
Fitzmagic is going to be the savior of the Dolphins.
Rosen
I'm
is
calling it
still
right now.
young.
I love Fitzpatrick.
Rosen's young to where he definitely has plenty of time to watch.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, it's not even necessarily about watching and learning. I say this so much, but you got to build the team. You can't just throw. Say Rosen knows it all and he's a good quarterback. Even if you throw him in right now in Miami, he's still gonna be trash because it's
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah.
I guess going based on, the biggest shockers that happened, because a lot of people thought Murray was going to be number 1. The Raiders first pick, they picked Farrell at
Yeah.
4th overall.
Colin Farrell.
Very interesting
Not sure, what film they were watching. He's top 15, not top 5.
They have to know some insider information,
Well,
like
yeah.
him for specific things.
I don't think that he. Very happy for him getting drafted. He would have been top 15. I don't know. When you pick a guy in the top 5, he has to come in and have an impact right away. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. So,
Yeah, I guess interesting to see how it plays out.
yeah.
One of my biggest things, it's not necessarily a specific person, but the entire first round. I think this year is where they had the least running backs and receivers going in the first round.
Yeah.
One running back, Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2 receivers.
Yeah. It was a different kind of
Hollywood
draft.
and N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1 running back, 2 receivers. Not a lot of playmakers. A lot of linemen.
How about the Redskins just getting 2
Yeah.
steals? Getting
A- for their
which wasn't
draft.
a lot. Like
Yeah.
there was
They
for
got
like
Sweat and
ESPN.
Haskins.
ESPN had over 5, I want to say 5 to 8 teams that had a grades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, they get Sweat, who I think he's going to come in and have a huge impact right away, and then they got Haskins, who probably isn't. He's not going to start right away, but a good backup, and he's going to learn. And
He's got that chip on his shoulder now too.
we see it every year where happened this year with Rosen getting traded, and now people are going to be stepping up. Haskins, I could see that happening in Washington, where Haskins, 1-2 years down the road, he's going to be the guy if he can, with all the expectations that he had coming into the draft. I think he could actually, do something. And like you said, with the chip on his shoulder now, you see it all the time.
Yep.
Guys that slip in the draft and then they just explode.
yeah.
So
I mean, that's basically
Giants,
that's what I had for highlights. The positions, that were picked.
Giants taking Jones.
Yeah. Actually, that I have that here. So they had an insider with the Mannings.
Wow. You can't.
I think that's a huge effect on it.
It's a huge effect, but how good of a pick was it?
Right.
Obviously, we don't know because the season hasn't started, but he's going to learn from Eli now. He has connections to the Mannings, but the Giants management decided to go with that over the best overall quarterback.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
One of the things that I had here was, there wasn't, like you said, there wasn't many playmakers in the draft, but I think the good playmakers that went to the teams had good grades. I mean, the Lions had an A-, and they took Hawkinson. I think he's going to do great.
Yeah.
The Patriots with N'Keal Harry, too.
Yeah.
That kind of catch.
2 tight ends in the first round. That doesn't happen a lot. And the same.
Yeah,
That's
same college
that's
team.
insane. That is insane. But 2 tight ends.
I wasn't convinced on the 2 tight ends. When I saw both their highlights, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Hawkinson, I know with the way that the NFL is going right now, it's the way that Gronk kind of did it. Gronk would bump out to the slot sometimes.
What do you say?
Gronk?
Gronk.
You say his name really awesome. Gronk.
So when the Patriots would bump Gronk to the outside into the slot, I can see both of them doing that. They were good blockers, too, on some of their highlights.
That's the thing that
Solid
matters
first-round picks.
is Hawkinson, a lot like Gronk, can block very well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're so big that all they have to do is put their hands up,
Yeah.
grasp that ball.
The game is changing.
Yeah.
You see a lot more undrafted free agents, late round picks be running backs and receivers, and they're standing out.
Yeah.
So maybe you got to get the good interior, the linemen
Earlier.
that are ranked high, and then you can get, a random Philip Lindsay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see, one of the late round picks that's going to bust onto the scene here. And, like you said, Philip Lindsay, there's always a couple rookies that got drafted really late that surprise in their first year. And that's what we love about the draft and first rookie season. So,
So the draft is done. We were excited for it. Done and over with. Now,
what do you think about the Lions, Bo? How was their overall
I don't want to get
draft?
too into it because we have other topics here, and
He's
no one
not
wants to
happy
hear
with
about
it.
the Lions. But I think they had a decent draft.
Okay.
I'm not the person to take guesses before.
Oh, okay.
You wait to see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Or you keep waiting because your favorite team traded back 3 times in a row. They traded 3 times in a row.
The Rams, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Next year.
On to the NBA playoffs. A lot of good matchups that are about to happen.
Yeah.
Couple teams about to be blown out as well, like the Bucks. They're going to be swept.
Oh, yikes.
gosh.
Don't even.
What about the
Paul
game today?
Pierce said it, and I'm like, okay, Paul, you played for Boston, so
So game 1, in Milwaukee.
There's more teams that got beat by 20 than.
Game 1 in Milwaukee, you get beat by 20.
And to be honest, it doesn't really surprise me. Because the Celtics, I feel like, are the most underrated team in this playoffs.
I agree.
Definitely.
I don't think it's going to be, I don't think they're going to sweep them. I think it's going to be, remember last year's series? It was back and forth the entire time. I think it's going to be the same way.
So this is maybe going a little crazy on what I'm about to say, but a lot of people don't like the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people out there that just will watch NBA for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just for the simple reason of they play harder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, hear me out on this one. You think the Warriors play 100% every regular season game?
No.
No. Think the Celtics did?
No.
I would say probably not.
I don't think any team did.
I would honestly say that the Bucks played extremely hard every single game in the regular season.
Up until the last month, I would say.
So what? Because one, the city and the standpoint that they're in,
Sure.
they have to.
Yeah.
They just don't want to keep being the team that they have been the last few years. Their the new coach, Giannis is for real. I think they played great. They played tough throughout the regular season, but now it's crunch time.
Yeah.
They're going to still be playing the same game. They're going to be playing great, but now you're going to have these other great teams.
The Bucks also didn't shoot well.
Playing hard. No, I agree.
So
I'm just saying. I think they've never had a challenge like this. Now they're going to be playing good teams that are going to be trying.
Yeah.
100%.
This
Not
round-
saying
this round, This matchup, Boston it's make it or break it. If they lose this series and then that's it, that's a huge disappointment.
So let's
Absolutely
say,
huge.
what if the Bucks lose the series? It doesn't matter if they get swept, if they lose at 4-3.
Yeah.
What if they lose round 2?
that is going to be a
disappointing
disappointing
What are the
season.
odds for them to take the first seed next year? Do you think people are going to look at this totally different?
Yeah, that's way too much into the future because who knows what's going to happen, next year in the off season. But just overall, that's going to be a huge disappointment if they lose because they got the number 1 seed, played great this season, have possibly the MVP. So it's going to be a huge hit.
I would say if you make the Eastern Conference Finals, the gap from the Eastern Conference Finals and losing round 2, that's satisfaction to what the heck happened to my team. This whole year was useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's honestly a huge what they do in this series is huge.
Yeah.
To their fans, to everything.
I agree.
That's gonna be interesting. Going away from the Bucks specifically, the Rockets Warriors are a good one. They had a close game today.
By 4.
Yeah.
100.
Curry and Clay are both hurt. They're playing, but they're injured. Draymond is stepping it up. Of course, Draymond would step it up because he's Draymond Green.
The guy that's just killing it though,
KD. He's been doing good. Yeah.
Moved up to 11th place in all-time scoring.
Yeah.
He's a scorer.
The Warriors are. That's the thing. The Warriors are. Even if they would have lost game 1, or like last series, I'm just like, who cares? Like, they're still gonna be fine. Sort of like the Patriots. They lose a game in the regular season, and people are like,
Yeah.
I had so many arguments to people this year, our boss specifically.
Yeah.
Patriots aren't gonna be as good. Just chill. It's Tom
chill.
Brady. It's the Patriots. Same thing for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Who's the one team that's left out of these 8 teams in the NBA playoffs who you're surprised that is there? Anyone?
I'm surprised Portland's there with Nurkic, getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Lillard, he was playing very good, but he hit some clutch shots.
McCollum is insane. He averaged, I want to say, 28 points in that series a game.
Yeah. So I'm surprised with them, even though they were great during the regular season. Still have a lot of key pieces, but losing one of your key pieces,
Yeah.
I thought they were going to get bumped in the first round. So
I don't think. Go ahead.
I think Denver. To me, Denver is my surprise team. I mean, I know they had a high seed, but
they won 7 games.
Yeah,
I really thought the
with
Spurs were going to win
Jokic.
that.
I mean, with Jokic only being your only basically superstar on that team, they're just so they have depth almost at every position.
Yeah.
Their bench is really good too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the matchup that I'm most excited for, definitely.
I saw a picture on Twitter today. Someone posted it was Nikola Jokic as like he was 8 year. It looked like he was like 8 or 10 years old, sitting in the backseat of a car. This guy looks so silly. This little boy, and his caption said, "This kid is gonna put up 50 on Enes Kanter." Which, think about this. Kanter is one of the worst defenders. He's just an offensive rebounder. He's a decent scorer. I honestly think that the Nuggets may just wash him out. I think
Yeah,
they will. I mean, I would say they would definitely win
they really only have to stop 2 people, right?
simply because of Jokic. Jokic, however you want to say his
Yeah.
name. But Lillard and McCollum are going to be a huge, impact as well. But they don't have a big to stop their bigs.
Mm-hmm.
Millsap, you don't have a big to stop
Yeah.
Millsap.
Yeah.
Millsap's great on defense too.
That's why the first round was very scary because I have Denver going a ways in that little fun bracket that we did. The first round scared me. They went 7 games.
Mhm.
They got the win, and now I'm feeling pretty confident because of the
Yeah.
reasons that you just brought up. So, I mean,
Yeah. And the Spurs are a great team,
yeah, they played
especially with
very
what they
well.
have. Yeah. I don't want to get into this. I'm just going to throw this out there. We can talk about it later, have it on another show.
Yeah.
But not necessarily a team in the NBA playoffs. But what the hell is going on with the Thunder? Okay, like, what more do they want? They got Russell and they got Paul George.
2 great scorers.
So the future's got to change. Something has to change. Say something quick, but we'll
what
move
Russell
on.
said? He said, "I'm going to focus on being a better shooter this offseason."
Shoot more.
Like, come on. You know,
How can he possibly shoot more?
I think honestly,
No, he
I would not
better
want,
shooter.
I would not, if I was the head coach or the owner of a team, I would not want Russ. I think he is a cancer to any team that he.
Well, their last game when they got beat, he was driving to the lane and just throwing up silly
He
shots,
does it
like
every
backward
game.
shots. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like if you want to be a superstar and take over, attack the rim.
Yeah.
This guy can fly.
Yeah.
Why are you turning away and trying to draw fouls? Just it's not going to be called. Just
Yeah.
go to the rim.
Like I said, that can be a bigger topic at some other point because I think that's just insane.
Kawhi had 45 in his first game. Philly.
Yeah, he's showing up. Okay, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yep.
Welcome to the MLB.
Very exciting for Major League Baseball. His
Yeah.
dad was.
His dad was
great.
in the skybox.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Great seeing.
So he had a double for his first hit.
Yeah, he
And
almost
then-
had a bomb right away.
Yeah, robbed of extra bases,
Yeah.
but he was the game-winning run.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a home run, so.
yeah.
But I mean, he still was the first one to touch the plate
Mm-hmm.
to win the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to say
I mean,
this to be.
It
go ahead.
would have been him because he ended up getting like pinch run for, but it was his. I get where you were going with it. It was
Yeah,
his.
yeah. Right.
It was his hit that put the
Yeah.
winning run, time run on base. So
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but I am sort of depressed with his start. Okay, 3 for 12, batting .250.
yeah,
The big thing is no home runs. You take all these other big names, their first couple games, Judge, okay, Bellinger.
Harper.
These guys are hitting bombs.
Yeah.
Their first game even.
Yeah.
That's almost. This is a whole nother story as well. I was talking to Cody, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
How old is this kid?
No, Cody.
No, Vlad.
No.
20 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give him some time.
I'm just saying.
He had 12 at bats.
The game now. Games are more high scoring. There's no really pitching games anymore.
Yeah.
You go through the scores from day to day. Man, everyone's over 3 to 4 runs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing about Vlad Jr. He is way more disciplined at the plate than his dad was in the minor leagues, and this is the reason why everybody projected him to be such a good player. And I know people are comparing him to his dad, that he's just going to hit home runs. He got walked more than he had hits.
Correct.
In the minor leagues. His on-base percentage was .413 in the minors.
His vision on the game has to be over 90, right?
Oh, when he gets
In the
put
game.
into the...
I don't know why
Yeah.
he's saying.
Here's my take on it. The kid's got the most beautiful swing I've ever seen
Beautiful hair.
in the MLB. Like ever.
He's got pop.
And if you hear it, that crack, oh my gosh. That makes me
Are you
jealous.
talking about that video?
Yes.
The one where they talk about
Yeah.
the sound of it? That's a great
But
video.
anyways, I mean,
He fell asleep to that. He's
Yeah.
sleeping like.
Alex just...
give the kid a chance. He's 20 years old. I mean,
He only had 12 at
he'll
bats.
figure it
No,
out.
I
So-
He'll figure it out
understand.
because his swing is just that perfect.
Yeah.
All he has to do is figure it out. Know the tendencies of each pitcher. Play in the league for a little bit. He's a solid defender at third too. So I mean, yeah, he could use some work. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even... So going to the whole team side of it, Brandon Drury, who plays third base, that Guerrero is kind of taking over for, he was the one that hit the walk-off home run. So, I mean, even if things, get a little bit shaky right away in his first season, they're going to be fine as a team. Now, I know we're just talking about Vlad Jr., but, I mean, he's got some guys on that team that, can help him too, just like we talk about quarterbacks in the NFL that have to, kind of learn the game before they actually take off. But he's going to be fine. He had 12 at-bats. He has very good vision. And not a lot of people saw this, but his first BP, so he hit like a 500-foot home run, first pitch in BP. So,
Yeah. It hit the window.
yeah.
His Twitter has got to just be skyrocketing. His fame or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid walked up to that horse song that's popular. That's just awesome.
Well,
That
both of
horse
them,
song.
him and his dad, are just characters,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. And then you saw Vlad Sr. in the box, just getting all excited for his first hit, getting a bunch of high fives. It's great to see because the kid's 20 years
Right,
old, and
So he was born in Montreal, Canada. And now he's playing in Canada.
yeah,
So that's sort of interesting.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
He's probably excited himself, Think of all the jitters he still has to work out. Yeah, he's a professional. He's been, he was in AAA. And, I mean, he's been used to being the best throughout every age, from bottom to top where he is now. But you still have the jitters since your first time in the MLB.
I haven't seen him do any press conferences yet. I don't know what he sounds like, but I know his dad's accent, and now having a Canadian accent. Does it mix? That's what I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna look that up after this.
All right. Well, good luck to him.
Yeah. Congrats.
I want to see him hit a bomb soon.
Me too.
If a couple games,
Not against the Braves.
if he stays at 250 and there's no home runs and so what do you have, 12 at bats?
They're gonna give him the whole season.
I'm just saying if he goes 40 at bats without a home run,
They're gonna give him the whole season.
okay. So next one is I got next up Seattle.
Yeah. They
Seattle
drafted,
has a couple of changes that they got to make, a couple of things they got to figure out.
they drafted 3 wide receivers, and that's why our first point is, Doug Baldwin considering retirement. It's kind of, they're not phasing him out, but I think they kind of know with all the injuries that Baldwin went through that him going to be retiring. They took 3 wide receivers right away, and they got DK.
Yeah, DK was basically the talk of the draft. He was a fan favorite of everyone.
Yeah.
Just his size, speed,
Dude is
stuff like
jacked.
that.
I was very surprised he fell that far, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, just on the combine alone. I don't know if you guys saw the video, though, when he actually walked into Seattle.
Yeah, he had
No
a shirt
shirt
off.
on.
Pete Carroll took off his shirt.
Yeah,
then.
he was so excited, man. Oh, my gosh.
Ian's probably excited about that because his team name.
The phone call to DK was pretty cool, too. But, for the Seahawks, they had the most picks out of the draft, too, at 12. So
Yeah.
I think they filled a lot of voids, especially on defense. On, obviously, wide receiver drafting 3 of them. But, yeah, Baldwin,
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah, I mean he had a really good. He played 8 seasons. I have all the stats right here. He played 8 seasons, 49 touchdowns, 6,563 yards. 30 years old.
Baldwin 30, yeah.
So
He was a pretty tough player, too.
it's good for him.
Yeah.
Like I say this with everyone retiring because I would hate to see somebody lose their career based on injuries and all the times that he came back and now it's his decision to leave.
I mean, it's like Calvin,
Yeah.
So.
Congrats to him.
The Seahawks, the one thing that they need to figure out is the running back situation. They didn't get a good running back. Okay, they got a DN first pick. They got a safety the next pick, and then the third pick was DK. They have their eyes on Ansah. Ezekiel Ansah is supposed to go to Seattle. It's going to cost like $24 million or something, they said. And they have just over that in cap space. But they need a running back. They got to help Wilson. You also need, I guess I want to see how DK does. But Lockett's a deep threat.
Yeah.
Still have no tight end. Well, they got a couple of average tight ends.
Yeah.
Under average, but yeah.
I think Seattle is going to be that one team that is going to pick up a bunch of undrafted rookies and possibly have one surprise us at running back. Because, like I was saying earlier, there's always a team that either drafts a guy late or picks him up when they didn't even get drafted, and then that guy surprises us.
Mm-hmm.
Would not be surprised if they get a running back that undrafted on the practice squad after they got, maybe one guy goes down and they throw him in there. That's going to be, that's my guess.
To wrap things up with this one, ceiling and bottom for Seahawks record.
Record-wise, ceiling, I would say 10-6. The low end, I would give 4-12.
Jeez. I would say a ceiling 11-5. Low end 9-7. I don't think they're losing. I don't think they're being worse than 9-7.
I think I'm going to go with Alec on this one. Just because they could put some pieces in that none of us even expected and have a really good season. There's a lot of reasons why they could just, not do anything this year because you just said they don't have a running back.
They never did for the last 4 or 5 years.
You're right.
It's the Seahawks and Russell Wilson.
They didn't even give it to him on the 1-yard line to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's
Very
the
true.
Seahawks. They aren't going worse than 9-7.
They're
People are getting older.
They're too bent out of shape on Russ. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could see this turning into a situation where a lot of tempers flare in Seattle and it's not going to end well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Last one here of the night, we got the Green Bay Packers recap of their draft.
Yeah. I really liked their picks, even though they didn't get a high grade. I really liked it.
They got on ESPN.
Compared to-
So yeah, different. I guess it's crazy because different sites have different grades
Yeah.
and stuff too. But on ESPN, they gave him an A. Now I like the positions they picked.
Yeah.
I think they could have got better people within the positions.
Yeah, I said overall okay, but disappointing to me because, I mean, they've really stacked their defense with the draft and, with free agents, but I definitely thought they should have went wide receiver early on. I mean, they passed on Marquise Brown, Hollywood, passed on N'Keal Harry. I think Andre Dillard tackle, that would have been a nice one too. So
I
that was
wasn't
three people that
upset.
they passed on that
Yeah.
we could have had.
I wasn't upset with their first pick. I was hoping it was an offensive lineman, but they went with a linebacker. It was kind of shocking because all of the free agents that they picked up, I definitely thought they were going to go, offensive guard, offensive tackle, maybe a wide receiver. And then their second pick, they went defense again, even though I really like Savage because we were watching the highlights on him tonight. And I don't know who posted it, but he's like, this could be the next Ed Reed because the plays that he was making from the safety position were phenomenal. He was
He better
running
pan
through
out
people.
because I think that that was a stupid move to trade up
Yeah.
to grab him. It was just
He would have
I was
stayed
shocked.
there.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to trade it up to get him. I
Yeah.
don't think.
So I mean, just for Packer fans alone and himself, he better pan out. Otherwise,
Yeah,
Yeah.
people aren't gonna be happy about that.
So, quarterback they don't need.
yeah.
Running back they're fine. Receivers, I think it goes both ways. You guys said you wanted to see him draft receivers.
I said they could have. With the receivers that were left, they would have been good additions.
Yeah. The thing is, I think they had a very good idea of the positions they were going to draft because Adams is one of the best receivers. Okay, Allison, St. Brown, and I guess the other guys are like a
Valdez.
Saint. Yeah, I mean, they play almost alike. You got
Yeah.
4 guys that are and young. So the thing is, why bring in more young guys when you have 5 young guys plus
Yeah.
Devontae Adams as receivers?
Yeah. I mean, with the whole draft, not comparing to where they picked them, they crossed off all the needs that they needed to
Yeah.
because they did get an offensive lineman later. I wish they would have taken one of the tackles, Dillard. I wish they would have taken him early,
Mm-hmm.
but then they ended up taking Jenkins, who
Center.
Yeah, he played all around,
Yeah.
but he's going to end up, starting at one of the guards, one of the guard positions, and then one of the most frustrating picks for me to watch is they drafted a tight end. They don't use their tight end. They have Jimmy Graham. They don't use him. So why
Yeah. So
draft
that
a
was
rookie?
their 4th pick, I want to say.
Yeah, that was their 4th round.
Yeah, Jace Sternberger, and I agree with you. I mean, you got Jimmy Graham. You wasted him last year. I'm not
Yeah.
saying he's good or great anymore, but he was a waste.
Yeah,
Now you have a second tight end. Did you have to pick a tight end? Could you got someone else?
yeah, they
Yeah,
definitely
so-
could have, gotten somebody that's going to fill in a lot better. Could have got a better defensive lineman at that position to solidify the defense because with all the free agents that they picked up and they drafted, I feel like I said, all the picks that they did, they crossed off all the needs, could have, manipulated the draft a little bit better and drafted better guys in those positions.
I think
Yeah.
it was a typical Packers draft. And to me, I was kind of hoping I would see the opposite with the new front office and just to see something new. Why not give Aaron Rodgers the helm and be like, hey, what do you want first round? Your decision. Why? Right?
That whole
He's gotta be what? At least top 3 smartest football players in the league right now. At what
Yeah.
point do these professional sports teams give the chance to these players like LeBron James and Aaron Rodgers and
Yeah.
Tom Brady to do things.
But
like
how do we know that he wasn't in there?
True. That's very true.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they did go defense. Maybe he said, hey, I feel confident with the offense that I have. Take defense.
Maybe Rodgers
Yeah.
is just like, hey, if we score 2 or 3 touchdowns a game
Yeah,
and our defense can stop them to 1 or 2,
yeah.
we got the game.
5
Yeah.
defensive players they took, 3 offense. So,
And I think he was simply, other than a great offensive lineman at the first pick, I think Gary was a good first pick.
a lot of people are giving him bad reviews that their first pick was a waste, but
Yeah. I mean,
I
he
think
was
can play anywhere.
he was one of the better edge,
Yeah,
I liked watching him in college. I thought it was pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like they could line him up anywhere, and I think the defensive strategy for this next year is going to be, let's just get a bunch of dudes that are going to hustle and fly to the ball, and they're going to line
Yeah.
up, best 3-4 linebackers and just let them go.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens.
Yeah. I don't like doing predictions of really anything.
Yeah,
It is what it is. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
we're definitely gonna have to wait and see.
I think overall the Packers need to use a tight end. Okay, you got to get Jimmy Graham involved.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers, you got to be on communicating with your receivers, and the defense has got to be on 5 years ago. When they beat, what was it? It was like a play action in overtime. Rodgers threw a bomb. Was that to Jordy Nelson?
yeah. There was so many that.
There was
Mary's
different
that he threw it.
scenarios, but their defense was not great, but they always got a pick at the right time.
That's
So-
what I think you'll see a lot more this season with the pressure that they're going to be able to get to the quarterback.
Yeah,
And then you have guys that can make plays like Jair Alexander.
Yeah,
yeah. I honestly think this year is the Packers' best defense they've had in years.
I would agree. So on paper so far.
Yeah,
Definitely.
specifically due to the 2 linebackers they picked up, Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith.
yeah.
Those are good linebackers.
Hey, they're gonna be getting after the quarterback this year, and that's gonna help out the young DBs that they
And
have.
that's
So
the thing. They're young all around on defense.
Yeah,
There's not really an old guy. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
stamina and durability, definitely.
yeah.
That's what they need.
I can't wait for fantasy football
Ooh.
to get ready for the season.
Good
Do
luck,
more
Alex.
DraftKings, and then the actual season start.
yeah,
Anyway, that's basically it for the topics for episode 6. As you guys can see, we got a couple new additions. Devontae Adams over there. He's fake. He's not real. And then a Brewers poster. Thanks to Brett. We just keep getting new stuff.
Just
It's
keep adding- we're
pretty
gonna have
exciting.
to-
It's pretty full.
Yeah.
We're going to end up moving those flags up
Yeah,
because we got a Next Up Sports Talk banner coming in
yeah.
tomorrow. Should be. But that's basically it for episode 6. Next Sunday, we said 1 o'clock for episode 7.
Mhm.
So 1 p.m. Next Sunday. We'll see you guys for episode
in.
7.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Let's get heated!